Hi there everyone. I hope you can see me. I don't think you probably can with that angle of that camera. Maybe that's alright now, I don't know. Come here Layla. Layla. Up here. Layla. Up. Come on up. Up. Good girl. Come on up. There we go. There we go, look. Say hello to Pineapple Head. He loves you. Right. Today folks, it's a completely different kind of video. Today I'm talking to you about a serious situation which I and many other people suffer from. And we will call it living with psoriatic arthritis. I was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis 20 years ago, and I can tell you exactly when it happened. I was on holiday in Cornwall, and I was walking round Truro, and I felt a pain in the sole of my foot. And it was a pain that wouldn't go away, and it made walking quite difficult, and it happened just like that. It really did. On return home I went to see the doctor, who referred me to the hospital and to a Dr. Chakrabarti, who thought it was a neuroma, which he thought he could operate on. But the operation was months down the line, and the situation grew worse. My knee, particularly the right knee, was swelling. It became the size of a football, and it was more and more difficult to walk. So I went to see the local doctor, and it was a locum doctor at the time called Dr. Balm, and he checked my fingernails for some reason. And when you've got psoriatic arthritis, your fingernails become pitted and lined, and generally quite thick and difficult to cut. And I'd noticed, in fact I was quite embarrassed by my fingernails, and I would hide my hands wherever possible. But Dr. Balm told me that he was not allowed to prescribe a medication for psoriatic arthritis, and he needed to refer me to the consultant at Huddersfield Royal Infirmary, who at the time was Mr. Rees. So I was sent to see Mr. Rees, who did confirm Dr. Balm's report that I had psoriatic arthritis. Psoriatic arthritis is in the family of rheumatoid arthritis, yet for some reason it doesn't show in the blood test as rheumatoid would. So I was sent for a CT scan and for some ultrasound scans, which also confirmed the diagnosis that I had indeed got psoriatic arthritis. There is nobody in my family with arthritis, so why it chose to pick me, I do not know. But I do know that psoriatic arthritis can be stress related, as can psoriasis. But with the psoriatic arthritis, it attacks the joints of your body, mainly your knees, ankles and hands, and it leaves your skin alone. Where many people with psoriasis, as you know, have got terribly itchy, flaky areas of skin, particularly on the elbows and the knees, etc, etc. So following all the scans, and Layla wants to get involved now, here she is. Following all the scans, I was put on a course of treatment which involved a drug called Methotrexate. And you were built up. You were given a 2.5 milligram tablet followed by a blood test. Then two 2.5 milligram tablets followed by a blood test. And so it went on and on until they could find out your body's tolerance to methotrexate. Methotrexate is quite an evil drug, and it can affect every nerve ending in your body. And you only take it 1 day a week, and the remaining 6 days you have to take 5 milligrams of folic acid to counteract these side effects. Now, methotrexate comes under the heading of a DMARD, which is technical jargon for a disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drug. And it works. It does work without a doubt. I am now, after 20 years, up to the maximum dose. I take 10 tablets a week, which is 25 milligrams, and I've been told that is the maximum. But they've also put me on 6 tablets a week of sulfasalazine, 500 milligrams. This is a recently new addition due to the fact that psoriatic arthritis is a degenerative illness, and until they can find a cure, can be kept in control by these tablets, or it will get worse. There's no two ways about it. There are also a medication group called NSAIDs, which you can take, which are non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs such as diclofenac, aspirin, etc, etc. And these things, ibuprofen, they're all in a similar group, and they help with the inflammation. Unfortunately for me, I am allergic to diclofenac medication. So, as I say, mine started 20 years ago, and it's all a matter of learning to live with it, as we learn to live with many other things. One of the key elements, I guess, is that you need to continue to exercise as much as is possible to build up the muscle around the joints, to protect the joint. My particular arthritis started, as I say, in my right foot, spread to my right knee, and then within 3 months it spread to the left knee. And it was very, very difficult. Difficult to walk. And when I look back on videos of myself from 20 years ago, the walking was very, very difficult. However, on starting the methotrexate medication, 8 weeks later, I was able to walk up Mount Snowdon and back down with a friend called Terry Welsh, who is from New York. He asked me if I'd want to try and climb Snowdon with him or walk Snowdon, and without taking the methotrexate there is no way on earth that I would have been able to manage that walk. People are frightened of taking methotrexate simply because it is such an evil and powerful drug. And it really is powerful. Fortunately for me, I was bald anyway, but it can cause hair loss, which I know is a major issue to some people. Come on, Layla. It is actually chemotherapy, but in a much smaller dose than is given to a cancer patient. And it's all about the balance. What do you want out of life? Do you want to continue to be able to walk, to be able to get out and about and do things? Or do you want to be stuck on crutches or a Zimmer frame or whatever? It's not a pleasant drug, I'm not going to lie to you. And you have to have constant blood tests to ensure that the levels of methotrexate to your blood are fine. At this moment in time, I'm struggling with kidney function, and the platelets in my blood are dropping, which they think is to do with the methotrexate. But what is the alternative? As long as I'm able to get out there and do the things that I'm wanting to do, then I will continue to do it. The sulfasalazine is helping. It is another drug which has got such bad press, but you have to weigh things in the balance, as I say. You can try many of the alternative therapies, the chondroitin, the green lip mussel. There are so many of them, so many. But do they work? Diet is another thing. You shouldn't eat red meat. You shouldn't eat this, you shouldn't eat that. But again, everything in moderation, I assume, cannot be bad for you. It's if you do everything to excess. It's like with alcohol as an example. Methotrexate states, while you're on this treatment, avoid alcohol. But I will be on methotrexate as I have been for 20 years, and I shall be on that methotrexate until the day that I die. It's a continuing medication, it's a degenerative illness, and again it's to do with balance. You have to make sure that everything works for you as a person. And anyone who's going through psoriatic arthritis, like me, you'll fully understand what I'm saying. It's very debilitating. It's very painful. We can have months and months with no pain at all, and then suddenly, bang, from nowhere, it flares up, and the swelling and the pain is intense. It really is intense. I've had several good days now because of the weather. But yesterday when the weather changed, I was woken up at 4 o'clock this morning by pain in the ankle, pain in the joints of my fingers. And it's such a pain that it keeps you awake and you cannot go back to sleep no matter how you try. I know there are many people who fight shy of taking these tablets, methotrexate, sulfasalazine, etc. But don't be frightened of them. What you've got to look at is your quality of life. And if your quality of life is impaired by not taking this medication, and you're in pain constantly, and you're unable to move, then I think you really do need to think twice about where you want to be, your understanding of the drugs. As I've said so many times in this little talk, methotrexate is an evil drug. It's a very powerful drug, but you also need to remember that it is very, very carefully monitored. They will never ever allow you to have more in your system than you should have. And they keep control of it. And it in turn keeps control of the swelling in the joints and the pain. It doesn't cure it. No tablets cure anything. They merely mask what is actually going on within the body. But what you need to remember is your quality of life. I know without methotrexate and sulfasalazine, my lifestyle, I hate to think where I'd be. I really, really do. So please, if you've been diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis, don't look upon it as a death sentence. Don't look upon it as something to be feared. As I say, I have had it now for 20 years. And in that 20 years, thanks to the medication and thanks to the care of the rheumatology departments, I've been able to live a more or less normal life. Is it painful? Yes, it's very painful. Does it stop you doing things? Yes, it does stop you doing things. But try and look at the positives. Try and just see the bigger picture. Life is precious. And the enjoyment of that life is even more precious. I don't wish to sound like I'm preaching, and I don't wish to sound like I'm being paid by any drugs company for promoting their particular brand of drug, because I'm not. I just want you to know that psoriatic arthritis isn't the end of your life. And please, if you have any questions at all, as a person here who has had this illness for 20 years, I am more than happy to answer the questions that I'm able to answer for you. So leave me a message in the comment below. If there's anything you want to know, feel free to privately message me on scrapmanjenkinson@yahoo.com, and I will be more than happy to help wherever I can. Check it out on Arthritis UK. They're a wonderful organisation and they're there to help, as are the doctors, as are the consultants. I have nothing but praise for them. And on that note, my brothers and sisters, I know it's an unusual video, but it's one that I wanted to get across to you. Because you've got an illness, life doesn't have to end. Take care, look after yourselves. Namaste. And may your God go with you.